Welcome back to the Weekly Grind. I'm here again with Jim Surace, who's imparting some great knowledge and some great motivation. Again, Jim is an accomplished man in business. He's a mentor, he's a leader, and he's helped so many, and he's helping us out every week. Jim, tell us a little more about the battles that people have in their lives.
I will. And thanks, Larry. It's good to be with you again. I always love listening to your introduction. It makes me feel good.
Thank you.
And anyways, if you remember, last segment we left off with the challenge.
Yeah.
And we challenged everybody to just take 24 hours to think about what you think about. And I'm sure that those of you that took on that challenge realize that there's so many things that we think about that are things that already happen. And a lot of times it's disappointments, heartaches, situations, adversity that has no meaning whatsoever on the day and really prevents us from being able to embrace the day for all that it might bring. There's a battle in the mind.
Yes, there is.
And so, the mind doesn't care what you plant in it. It'll grow whatever you plant. Good seed or bad seed.
That's very true.
It doesn't matter.
That's right.
And so, to understand the battles, understand that what we need to do is to intentionally intervene in our own lives, in our own mind, understanding that a lot of life is about things that are dark and hurtful and disappointing. So what I would suggest to everybody is to purposely, again, invade their lives with light, with good things, positive things. There was something Paul wrote. It was in the New Testament in the Bible. He wrote a letter to the Philippians. And I happen to bring it right here. I'm just going to read it to you. It says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things."
Good things.
So he's talking about the positive things.
Yeah.
There was some years ago, we built one of our first houses that we wanted to put an in-ground pool in the backyard. But there was a lot of woods, right? So we had to clear out a certain amount of those trees in order to do the in-ground pool. And so we did. And so it was nice. And it was maybe some few years. In fact, when we took out a lot of the trees, we took out too many and we planted some ornamental trees just on one side of the pool. Some years later, I just happened to be out in my back patio and I was just pondering and looking at the area and admiring those trees. It was just like amazing how full and lush that they were. And as I was looking at those trees, I just decided to kind of walk around the back side of them. And the back side was actually the side of the trees that faced what woods were still left. So they were in the shade pretty much. But the part of the trees that I was admiring was open
out in the
to the sun, out in the sun.
Yeah.
And the part of it that was out in the sun was all that tree that it could be, all that God created that tree to be, it was. But the part of the tree that was in the shade was just stunted, like stunted growth.
Wow.
And I was looking at those trees and I was thinking like, wow, that's kind of like our life. When we live our life under the aura of negativity and bad things that have happened, it just really, we will have a stunted growth and we will not be all that God created us to be. And so when we constantly, again, intervene intentionally in our life with positive things, positive thoughts, what happens is we change from the inside out. A lot of people want to change their circumstances, but they want to change this atmosphere around them. And, that's very difficult.
Wow.
What we could change is what's inside us. And when we change what's inside us by purposely invading ourselves with light and positive things, all of a sudden, the atmosphere and the situation changes around us.
Wow. Jim, well, I appreciate that. You really brought light to the power of positive thinking. I want to thank you, Jim. This, again, is the Weekly Grind. Keep bringing the knowledge, and we'll do this every single week. And I want to thank you for tuning in to the Weekly Grind. There's more of these on YouTube, or you can follow Jim Surace on Facebook. Make sure you're tuning in to The Grind.